Hello everybody, it's Joe back at the workbench with part 3 of the game figure mini creation series. In part 1, link here, we talked about the skin modifier and how cool but sometimes a little fiddly of a modifier in Blender that is. In part 2, link here, we talked about how you could use it to literally draw a stick figure in 3 dimensions and then bring that stick figure, just put skin, like the modifier, on that stick figure. We also used a little mirror modifier on it as well. And then we use that to create a skeleton that if we move around and deform, the skin moves along with it. Pretty darn cool, right? Today, we're going to add some detail to that mesh, because unless you're taking this character and you're doing him, about that big, this lack of detail just isn't going to fly. And to put that detail on there, we're going to explore the Sculpt tools today in Blender. Before I get started, have you had a chance to stab Joe? If you would like me to make you a mini that looks not like this, a better one than this, like this, or ooh, have you seen what I've been doing on Wood Wars? If you haven't gone to my blog, link is not down there right now, because right now the link is pointing to Facebook, but I've been doing some really cool things with a game that I'm making called Wood Wars. Little minis with super detailed faces that come off, and then you exchange it and put a different head on it, and you can choose your class and race that way. And it's turning out a lot of fun, so I hope you guys are following that on my blog. And we talk about using the Sculpt tool to make minis like this. Let me put this back on its, there we go, suitable for a dollhouse. So, if you want me to make you a mini like that, the good stuff, this one will be good by the end of this video, then all you have to do is stab Joe, or no, enter the Stab Joe contest. Please, do not stab Joe. Enter the Stab Joe contest. It's at the Facebook link, which is at the bottom of this video, and the link wherever links are found. Go there, like my Facebook page. I'm hoping to get my Facebook page over 100 likes by the time this contest is over. And if it is, I will do 2 minis or something. If you haven't entered this contest, then please let me know why. Maybe you're not on Facebook. Maybe you just don't like Facebook. Maybe you don't like liking things on Facebook. I don't know. But please tell me why you haven't, so that the next contest that I do, I can adjust things and make things better. If I don't get your feedback, I can't make it better, okay? Alright, let's jump into sculpting. So we've got our mini here, and we've got our skin here. But the problem is it's not very detailed. Now, over here, we can go to object mode, and we can go to sculpt mode. And in sculpt mode, we have a whole bunch of tools, but the problem is, look at what happened to the modifiers over here. Oh, I just realized I never named any of these objects. You can't see, because right where my head is where the things are, but you can see right here that this skin is still called a plane, which it's not. Anyways, the modifiers are all messed up, and they're going, oh wait, hold on, no, modifiers are okay, yeah. We have to first things first, before we start sculpting, we have to, and I know this is going to hurt some people who are big into Blender, we're going to have to apply our modifiers. A lot of people in Blender don't like to apply their modifiers. They like their mods to be non-destructive. But if you're going to use the Sculpt tool, you got to commit to it. Now, one thing you could do is duplicate your object and then do your mods on a duplication. But you know what? In this case, I don't care. I'm just going to go ahead and duplicate it. So, first things first, we need to name this thing. This is the skin. So this is our skin. I don't know. We also have this plane up here that's defining how tall we want our character, to make sure it's just a little reference height for us. So we're just going to call it ceiling, roof. I can never remember how to spell ceiling. And then we've got the bones here, and this is the armature, and armature is just a fine name for this, so we're going to go with that. Now, come into our skin. We're going to apply our modifiers from the top to the bottom. So we apply our mirror modifier. We are going to actually just remove the armature modifier, and we're going to apply the subsurface modifier. Okay? Alright. I'm skipping a step, and I hope that if you know what I'm doing, don't yell at me for skipping this step. I'm skipping it so that it will be educational later and we can come back to it. So if we've taken off the armature modifier, moving the armature does not move the skin. So let's just take that armature modifier and let's, whoops, I don't want to hide that bone, I want to hide the whole thing. So we'll go back into object mode, we'll just hide the armature for now. For now, it's all about the skin. Alright, so now let's go into sculpt mode. Whoa, let's select the skeleton or the skin and go into sculpt mode. So in sculpt mode, generally speaking, you work over here. There are shortcuts with the keys. I haven't learned them all. I'm still learning them. Lots of sculpt tools. And really, there doesn't need to be as many as there are. But my suggestion is to play with them, and maybe you'll find a suite of them that you like. Me, I like the brush. I like the clay strips for certain things. I love the crease modifier. The flatten modifier has saved my butt more times than I care to admit. And the grab modifier. And then the inflate modifier I use for eyeballs, and I'll show you how that works later. But for now, let's just keep on with the brush modifier, which you can get to by hitting the X key. Also, another important key, you can come over here and slide up and down, so now our brush is really big, or down, and our brush is a little bit smaller. Or you can hit F and set the size of your brush and click it. And I like that because you can kind of see, okay, this is how much area my brush is going to be affecting, okay? Down here you can add or subtract, so let me make this a little bit smaller, and I'm going to brush across here. And you can already see that it's doing both sides. It's not a mirror modifier. That's a thing with the brush. I'm going to undo that real fast. But if I hit subtract, then all of the stuff that I do is going to be pushing it in. So the brush kind of pulls it out or pushes it in. However, instead of clicking add or subtract here, just keep it on add and hit control key as you draw, and that negates the effect. So there's no control key, and it subtracts. So just keep your finger on that control key and add and subtract as you're going. And then the other thing that's real cool is if you hold down shift, everything becomes a smooth modifier. Smooth kind of works funny right now because we don't have much geometry, and it's just smoothing it. It's just making him look emancipated. But no, that's the wrong word. What's it called when you haven't eaten in a long time and you're really skinny? That word. I'll look it up later, but for now you can call me a fool in the comments. And while you're telling me why you're not entering the Facebook challenge. But there is something really cool about the sculpt modifier that you need to know, and that is down here in this window called topo or topology, dynamic topology. Also open up the symmetry. You can see now the symmetry is mirrored in the X, so anything I do on the left gets done on the right. So that is why it's automatically mirrored. I can turn that off, and what I do on the left just stays on the left and the right doesn't get it. Okay? But we like symmetry for this one for now. I generally work symmetrical, and then when I'm done I turn off the symmetry and I work on the little details that I don't want to be symmetrical, like if I want them to have a sneer or something, which is kind of silly. As small as this mini is going to be, there's not a whole lot of point to putting a lot of detail into face, but I'm going to do it anyways because I just have no sense. Let's come back up to the dynamic topology. Dynamic topology. So, alright, yeah, I'll talk about that for just a second. Dynamic topology means right now you see this mesh is like this. Dynamic topology will add vertices, will add topology in order to allow you to increase your detail. Now if I turn it on right now, it's going to say, whoa, hold on for a second. You've got all these data groups and stuff like that, and they're going to be messed up. True. So we could just say okay and we'll go with it and we'll deal with it later, but instead, why don't we figure out what the problem is? Well, the problem is over here in our vertex. Why are you still called a plane? Oh, because your base object was a plane. Anyways, we've got all these vertex groups. What are these vertex groups? What are these? Well, let's go into edit mode. And you can select that vertex group, that vertex group. Here, let's select these. Okay, deselect everything. Select these. What the heck is that? Bone, that whatever. Let's deselect that and select all these. What's that? Well, that doesn't even register. Oh, there it is. That's that bone. What is this? Remember that armature? Every one of those bones is mapped to a certain number of vertices on the body. That's how it knows what to move when that bone moves. That's how it works. But because we're going to do sculpting, we're going to mess these up. So the best thing to do is just clear that out. Remove all of them. Okay, remove. Why aren't you removing? Oh, I get it. I'm sorry. That remove button says take these points that I've selected and remove it from the selection. No. I want to hit this and subtract, and get rid of all of these. Just keep on clicking that button until there's nothing in that list. Now let's go out of edit mode. Let's go back to sculpt mode and let's turn on dynamic topology. Vertex data, UV, custom data. You know what? I don't see anything else in here that I feel particularly bad about losing. So forget about it. Let's open up dynamic topology. And notice in wireframe mode it immediately makes everything triangles, but don't worry about that. The delta level is the maximum edge length for dynamic topology sculpting. In other words, if you set this really small, you can do really fine details, but if you set it really chunky, you can't. And what you set this at kind of depends on how good your computer is. If your computer sucks and you can't handle a lot of geometry, then you might want to set it a little bit high. I like to set this to 5. And I like to have it almost feels like working with a professional sculpting tool at this level. So set that dynamic detail to 5. Also, we've got an option here. Subdivide collapse, or just subdivide. What that means is if you are working at a higher detail level, then it will subdivide those points to add the detail. But if you zoom out and you're working on a larger detail level, it will actually collapse your topology to work at the level that you're working at. This can be bad. You can accidentally remove detail that you wanted to keep because you overbrushed a little bit and you hit something in the background that you didn't want to hit. But this can also be good because it keeps your topology in check. Generally, I keep it on subdivide collapse, but sometimes I manually set it to just subdivide. I turn off the collapsing. Today we're going to keep it on subdivide collapse, but keep in mind that those are options. And then we are back to our brush tool. So let's go out the sculpt. Oh, another thing. Did I talk about this in the last video? I hope I talked about this in the last video. If not, this matte cap thing allows you to determine how things are rendered in the window. It doesn't affect actual rendering, but it really makes your screen caps look good and it makes these videos look good. So I really like this one, and I really like this one. It makes everything just kind of look like clay. If I were an artist, I'd turn on smooth edges so that everything looked pretty, but I worry about geometry because I worry about this does not print smoothed. It prints what is there, so I need to see the geometry that's there. I don't need a fakie to make it look like it's good. So let's start with the face. Now I'm going to show you how to use all of the tools on the face, and then we're going to stop because this can take all day long if you do it right. So I'm going to just draw in some cheekbones on this monster. Okay? And notice how the geometry has been increased in the area because of the dynamic topology. How cool is that, okay? I'm also going to, I'm going to use the inflate tool, and I'm going to inflate him a nose. And I think I put that nose way too high. I think, yeah, you know what? I'm going to use the grab tool and move that nose and everything down. Grab tool kind of messed me up in the side view, so let's grab it and pull it out there. It's not quite the way I want him to look yet, but you know, we're going to work with it. Keep in mind, we can't do too much of an overhang on the chin, but we can do a little bit. So back to the brush tool, and let's give him some chin bone. Yeah, and let's also give him some mouth area. Now holding down shift and doing some smoothing on this just to smooth everything out. I'm going to draw up the bridge of his nose like that. And then I'm going to make it a little bit bigger, hold down control, and draw in the eye holes. Alright, that looks pretty good. Wow, what happened to his chin there? I overdid that. Time to pull out the grab tool and pull that chin back in. Ooh, that's a little bit too much. Hold down shift to smooth it out. Yeah, that worked a lot better than I expected it to, actually. Back to the brush tool, and let's draw in some high, muscular eyebrow ridges. And notice all the topology has been increased here. Now let's get in some beady eyeballs. This is really silly. I shouldn't even worry about eyeballs on this character because it's not going to be, this is detailed, it's not going to be seen. But I don't care. Did I put those eyeballs too close? I did. Let's grab them and let's pull them out. And let's grab the eyebrows and make him mad. Yeah, he's a fighter. He's mad. He's angry. He's mean. These eyeballs, I want them to be just a little bit more sunken. Okay. Let's stretch that out just a little bit. Now let's pull out the crease tool. Now the crease tool by default is on subtract, which is good because what you want to do is you want to have that crease automatically put a crease. But it can also be used like I want a more defined cheekbone, so I'm holding down control and it's kind of pinching it up and making it more pinchy. But then the crease tool by default is kind of putting a crease in there like here. Oh, I just ran into that dynamic topology because I was working on a smaller level earlier and then I zoomed out. That's fine. I could see that it happened, Alright, so, yeah, boy, I could keep fiddling with this guy all day long. Let's just put a mouth on him. So I'm going to go back to the brush tool. Wow, I don't even know what that was. And I'm going to give him a nice big, he's got like one of those, whoop, whoop, whoop. I meant to hit control. He's got like a Neanderthal mouth. So I'm going to just hold down control and hit that, and then I'm going to let go of control and draw the upper lip and the lower lip around that. And I'm going to crease it in the lip there. I'm going to smooth it around the edge over there. And I'm going to pinch it a little bit. Kind of want that part to be a little bit further back. I want to kind of create dimples in his mouth when I do that. There we go. Let's get back to the crease tool. I think it's Shift C for the crease tool. It is! That's exactly what I wanted. And let's crease him some crease lines around the mouth there. I'm not doing a very good job because I'm doing a very fast job here. I can sometimes do much better artwork than this, but the trick is get your reference on. Make sure that you've got something to look at, and that'll usually make your artwork better. Even Michelangelo had a reference when he worked. So get yourself a reference. But there we go. And actually, now that I'm looking at it, I think I actually want his eyeballs to be closer together and beadier. There we go. Just grab those in. But I think I need to give him some more pronounced eyebrow muscles. That was cool. I think I can decrease the cheekbone a little bit here and make his nose more pronounced. And then I'm going to give him big old honking nose holes here. So easy to do with symmetry. The thing with symmetry is you think you're doing a pretty awesome job. You're going, man, this looks just like a human face. Well, no, it's just symmetrical, and so our brains go, yeah, it's a human face. Human faces are symmetrical-ish. They're not really, but they're symmetrical enough. Alright, let's see what I got here. Let's crease a little bit between the nose. So there we go. I just showed you all of the tools. But we're not done. He needs muscles on the body. He needs hands drawn in there. Maybe I'll show you how, somebody had a request to how to do the hands. So maybe I'll show you real fast a good way to do hands. I also need to beef up his neck here. And what is happening? Oh, we got a little... Well, I'll just beef that up a little bit and then smooth it out. There we go. Let's also give him a Adam's apple and massive... Let's get his neck muscles just pulsating down there. Yeah. You know, get some reference images of bodybuilders and look at the way bodybuilders are fantastic for exaggerated human forms, because they are ridiculous. Oh, he doesn't have any ears. Well, we can fix that. We'll put some ears. But he's like alien, so we're putting some small ears right here. And then I'll just grab this and move it back here to make it kind of ear shaped. And grab that and make it kind of pointy, because, as I said, he's an alien. And we'll just add a little definition to that, and a little definition to that. Yeah, I'm gonna go with that. Yeah, look at that head. Oh, that is, he's got something weird going on over here. Yeah, definitely messed him up there. Let's just see if I can't fix that with the grab tool. Didn't fix it, made it worse. Let's make it better. Let's flatten this part. Just flatten that right out. And then flatten this part. Flatten that right, and then smooth it. I want to smooth that. I want to smooth that. Better. I'll fiddle with it some more later. On the next video, you'll get to see this all done. This will take hours, and I don't want to take hours of your time. But I do want to show you how to do a fist. There are lots and lots and lots of ways to do fists. The proper way is to do the hand out and then use the armature to bend the hand into fists. But we're not doing that. We're doing the simple way, and we're keeping the fist. Now, I am going to point something out. You want the fist to be pointing down, not sideways. If your arm is out, you don't want the fist like that. You want the fist to be pointing down, because most of your... You want to be able to do this with the geometry. You want to be able to have him turn his hand down, and then you can turn his hand up. Now, this guy is actually going to turn his hand all the way up because he's going to be doing the muscle pose. And so there might be some funniness going on with the wrist, and so maybe I should do a fist forward. I don't know. I'll figure it out later. But I think I'm not going to regret it too bad if we do this. So let's do his fist. Brush tool. Dynamic. Let's see. I'm just going to bulk up the hand just a little bit with a little bit of work in here, and definitely bulk it up down here. Okay, that's kind of the fist shape. The thumbs, when you're like this, are to the front, not to the back. Unless we decide to make him an alien, we could do two thumbs on him, one on each side, just like a koala. No, I'm sorry, koalas are both on one side. It's basically an index finger that's moved down, so I don't know what I'm talking about. No creature on Earth has thumbs on both sides. I wonder why. Huh. I've talked to a biologist about that sometime. Hey, how come no creature on Earth has thumbs on both sides? And they'll go, what the heck, dude? Don't you have more important things to talk about? You invited me here to play games, and all you want to talk about is strange biology questions? Because that's how I'd get him into my house. I'd say, hey, want to play some board games? That's a board game that I'm making. It's called Wood Wars. It's awesome. You should come try it out. And he'll go, cool. And then he'll come in and I'll ask him about thumbs, and he'll go, what the heck? But we've already been there. Alright, so I've just kind of drawn the crease portion. If you hold your hands in a fist, I just kind of drew this part around here and up here. Now I'm going to have to come over it with the thumb, but we'll do that later. I want to work it up. There's the finger. There's the finger. Take a look at your own fist. Your fingers don't go all the way up around here. They stop there. So I need to stop there. There we go. There we go. Okay. Now I'll do the middle finger. And up here. Did I put that far enough into the middle? I don't know. We'll fix it with the grab tool if I didn't. There we go. There we go. And next one. And coming up. I am now completely upside down. And then we're going to get this part, so we need to, you know, kind of draw a little curl around here. And make that smaller so that we can go bleep, bleep. Notice how your finger does that? How when it comes together it does a little doop doop there? So that's good. Again, this is detail that is so small nobody is going to see it, and I'm kind of silly for even bothering with it. But you know what? That's what you pay. That's what you get when you pay for Joe. I'm not quite sure what that was supposed to be. It sounded better in my head. Alright. I'm going to bring... Now, I'm bringing the ridges of the fingers up to kind of create knuckles. Okay, let's... This upside down thing has got to go. And I'm going to actually just use the grab tool and pull down the space in between each of them to make knuckles a little bit. And then I'm going to use the brush tool to kind of keep those... Because notice the back of your hand, I haven't got a big muscular hand, but there's a little bit of a ridge between the fingers. I've actually got kind of a fatty hand, so it's smooth. But, you know, with a lean hand, go look at the hand of a martial artist. What am I doing? Oh, I'm hitting the function key, not the control key. All right, control key. Whoop, there we go. Whoop, there we go. Whoop, 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 there we go. Oh man, what happened here? Time to flatten. Flatten, 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 flatten. Smooth. Hold down shift to smooth. Smooth that out. I know I put all that detail there and then I just smooth it away. It's still there, and you can kind of you can see the suggestion of it, and that's really what you want. You want the suggestion of it to kind of drive it. Okay, now looking good. Missing a thumb. Time for me to pull out the clay strips. Clay strips are cool. It can kind of be fiddly, but it just kind of lays over top of whatever you're drawing. And sometimes you have to go over it 5 or 10 or 15 times, but eventually it smooths itself out as you're going over it. There we go. I just clay stripped on a thumb. Now it needs a little bit of detail work around the you know, I need to hit the crease tool and see if I can't make that more defined. Crease tool around there to make that more defined. I think I'm going to brush tool up to get the tip of the thumb up just a little bit. Yeah, look at that fist. That is a fist to be proud of. Please don't ever take that out of context. Good grief. Okay, I'm just creasing between the fingers to kind of, you know, and I don't know why I'm spending so much time on this detail. It's never going to be seen. The thing's going to be like this big. This part's going to be like tiny, teeny, tiny. Nobody will ever know this work that I'm doing. But that is how you do a fist. Now, he's kind of got Popeye wrists, so actually I think I'm going to keep the Popeye wrist. I think I might make the Popeye wrist even more Popeye. That's all the time I have for today. I don't want to waste your time playing with this, but you've now seen how to use the major sculpt tools. But there are other cool sculpt tools, like the clay tool. That's a lot of fun. The blob tool I haven't really figured out how to use well, but maybe you can figure it out. Maybe you'll be playing with it and you'll get it all figured out. What else have we got? Oh, the snake hook. The snake hook tool. I have to show you the snake hook tool. Okay, before I go, snake hook tool. Make sure you are on subdivide collapse, because the snake hook tool creates geometry. It creates geometry like crazy. Now, Goro, who kind of inspired this, had a top knot. We're not going to do Goro, so I'm going to undo this. But for now, I'm going to kind of create a top knot for him. You click on the point, and then you just, I'm going to make this bigger. You just draw and notice what happens. That's what the snake hook tool does. It's creating geometry the whole way, but you have to smooth it out afterwards because it's a mess of geometry, and you have to check the geometry to make sure it's not too crazy, and make sure you got collapse on, because trust me, it creates too much geometry. But that's the snake tool. You can use it to make antlers, you can use it to make ears, you can use it to make arms, you can use it to make everything. Because at this point you take this and you use the draw tool and you add some bulk to it. But I'm getting rid of that because we're not keeping that. I would have just, tightened it around there and worked it out and made it into snake tool is one of the coolest ones. So there we go. We got the majority of the sculpting tools that you can play with. There's the smooth, but you don't really need a smooth tool, because if you hold down shift, you're in the smooth tool. So groovy. Grab, we love grab. When we come back, he is going to look completely different. He'll have tons of detail, and you guys are going to love it. But that will be for the next video. Man, his nose looks a lot. Never mind. Sorry, I got to stop looking at it, or I'm going to keep playing with it. Hey guys, if you've enjoyed this video, if it's inspired you, excuse me, I don't know where that came from. If it's inspired you to do something cool, then, well, Simon is down. Where is Simon? There's Simon. He's right down there. Simon is always on these videos to remind you to like, subscribe, share, and enjoy. Thank you again for watching. I hope you guys will visit, where is it? Yeah, there, I'm pointing to it right. The Facebook page, and like the Facebook page, and enter to get a mini of your own made. All you have to do is tell me what you want, and I'll make a video of me making your mini, and then I will print it out and send it to you. All you have to do is enter the Stab Joe contest. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you next time. Once again, awkward pause as I find the stuff. Oh no, my...